Can architecture be evil? Not ugly, not oppressive, but truly evil. We often talk about evil as if it's a person, a dictator, a killer, a corrupt system. But what if evil could be built? What if the walls around us, the cities we design, the spaces we inhabit, shape not just how we live, but who we become? And what if, sometimes, they make us worse? Architecture isn't neutral. It tells us how to move, where to look, what to do, even how to feel. A cathedral pulls your eyes upward, filling you with awe. A courthouse commands respect and order. A shopping mall loops you in a circle, so you never notice how long you've been there. Every structure is a form of persuasion. The French philosopher Michel Foucault once wrote about the Panopticon, a prison designed by Jeremy Bentham. The idea was simple. One central guard tower could see every prisoner, but the prisoners couldn't see the guard. Because they never knew when they were being watched, they began to behave as if they always were. The architecture created obedience without force, without violence. It made control invisible but constant. Sound familiar? Today we live in digital panopticons, in architecture and in algorithm. But before technology, it was design that disciplined us. Architecture has always been about power. Who can see, who can move, who belongs. So, can architecture itself be evil? Maybe not in intention, but in effect. Look at the architecture of totalitarian regimes. Giant stone monuments, endless boulevards, buildings designed to make individuals feel tiny. These weren't just symbols of power, they were tools of it. Albert Speer, Hitler's chief architect, understood this perfectly. He designed buildings to create emotional submission. Stalin's Moscow, Mussolini's Rome, North Korea's Pyongyang all use space to reinforce hierarchy, surveillance, and fear. And even beyond dictatorships, design can serve cruelty quietly. Prisons with no sunlight, housing projects that isolate rather than connect, hostile architecture, spikes on benches to keep the homeless from resting. These are not mistakes. They are moral decisions. They are moral decisions made physical. When architecture dehumanizes, when it denies comfort, dignity, or community, we can't call it neutral. In those moments, buildings participate in the machinery of harm. But blaming architecture alone would be too easy. Buildings don't build themselves. Every plan, every zoning law, every material choice comes from human values. Evil architecture might just be a reflection of evil priorities. Philosopher Hannah Arendt once said that the most terrifying form of evil is banality, the ordinary, bureaucratic evil of people just following orders. Architecture is full of this banality. A designer drafts the plans, a contractor cuts the costs, government approves the funding, and somewhere along the line, no one stops to ask, what kind of world will this space create? We often forget that architecture is slow violence. It shapes lives over decades, sometimes centuries. A building built with fear will teach fear. A city planned for cars instead of people will create isolation. A society that builds walls before bridges is already telling you what it values most. Every space carries a moral weight. The question isn't whether a building has ethics, but whose ethics it serves. Does this design give people freedom or restrict it? Does it connect people or divide them? Even a humble park bench can reveal a philosophy, one made for rest versus one made to repel. Philosopher and architecture Paul Virilio said, "Every technology of creation is also a technology of destruction." The same goes for architecture. The walls protects, but also imprisons. The tower inspires, but also dominates. It's never purely evil or good. It's always both, depending on who holds the power. So maybe the real danger isn't evil architecture. It's when we forget that design has consequences. When we stop asking moral questions of our spaces. Architecture is a mirror of the soul, collective, not individual. When we build prisons, we reveal our fear. When we build cathedrals, we reveal our hope. When we build malls, we reveal our hunger. Winston Churchill once said, "We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us." And that might be the answer. Architecture itself isn't evil, but it can amplify evil, just as it can amplify good. The spaces we design today will decide how we behave tomorrow. So maybe the real question isn't, can architecture be evil? But rather, what kind of people do we want our architecture to make us become? Thanks for watching. What do you think? Can architecture be evil, or is it just a reflection of us? If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more explorations at the intersection of philosophy and architecture. Thank you. Bye.